We didn't get any comments yesterday, but I do want to thank everybody that watched the video. It was our most successful video to date as far as views and engagement. I really appreciate everybody taking part in the poll and actually interacting. I was going to answer any comments or questions or kind of gauge this week based on how people are feeling. But the overwhelming sensation of people that I've talked to, not on social media, just in everyday life, or who have texted me about the Shadur situation, the Jackson Dart situation, is is getting out of hand. And I think that's something that needs to be addressed and needs to be talked about. So let's get into that. Let's talk about the rise of Jackson Dart and the fall or the potential fall of Shadur Sanders. Now, for a long time, if you go back and watch any of my videos about the pre-draft process, I had Jackson Dart as the number 2 quarterback for a very long time. I had Shadur number 3. I bought into some of the hype. I thought he was a more well-rounded quarterback than a lot of guys that were, ranked lower than him on my board. I think he's going to be a fine prospect. I think he's going to make his way throughout the NFL perfectly fine. He's got talent, and we all know that. I think the NFL and these teams were making a statement. I think that they were sending a very clear message that we don't only want a football player on the field. We want a human being, a genuine good person to represent our organization and the NFL logo off the field as well. We've seen a lot of times where guys are brought in the first, second round and they tarnish the reputation of themselves, of the organization, and the NFL. I don't think that's going to happen with Shadur Sanders. I really don't. But this idea that the Cleveland Browns are sitting there and they're doing this golf clap thing, like they're uninterested in even drafting him, you shouldn't have drafted him in the first place. I'm a huge proponent of, if you're going to bring in an athlete, you got to make him feel comfortable so he wants to compete. And that goes for any sport. If your organization, your coaching staff, if your front office, if your owners are not behind the athlete, you're not going to get the best out of them. There has to be a sense of energy. And to think that they were planning on taking Shadur Sanders probably anyways at some point in the draft, if he was available, why wouldn't you just keep the second overall pick and take Travis Hunter, who he had immense success with throwing the ball to at Colorado? A lot of the draft process for the Cleveland Browns kind of didn't make sense in the Shadur Sanders conversation. For the New York Giants, they are getting an absolute baller. They are banking on this Aaron Rodgers type of understanding football in the offense. Jackson Dart has played in multiple systems and had one of the most complex offensive systems in all of college football. That's what you're betting on. That's why he's the second best quarterback. Shadur Sanders was coached by his dad his whole life. The adaptability to offense and excelling in those systems might have been part of the reason that the fall took place the way that it did.